What up? What up? You too.
What's up, everybody?
Days, balls and things, not those types of balls, nor things you purposely get your minds out the gutter. We know what y'all be thinking about, and we don't talk about those types of balls nor things, man. This is not only fans account, man. This is the reptile account.
Come on.
My bro, how you doing? How you doing?
Another day. Can't complain at all. Definitely can't complain. How about you?
Oh man, I'm feeling good. I was off work pretty early today, so
Let's go.
See,
It's why we didn't do it Monday, right? You know?
But it was a nice early day, so I feel good. Nice and refreshed, man.
See, it happened opposite for you today. Then see, you got early off, and I got off late, and then Monday I got off early, you got off late. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But I'm feeling good now. I got so much needed rest, so hopefully it'll be the same thing tomorrow. But I think you rocking that band of merch, bro. Let me see that for a second, bro.
And no, it's funny is this is the first time wearing this shirt. I've had this shirt for months. Yeah. I found it in my closet where my brother had put it, shimmy back there in the back. I'm like, what's that bright colored shirt back there? I was like, you know what? That's what's up. Let me get it, man.
And she's not slacking on the back at all.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I see my joint right up there. Yeah. Let's go.
Let's go.
Hell yeah.
No slacking, no slack.
No, Justin got the good hair, so he's not no need for him to rock the hat. Every single day.
I still got it, it won't be long.
Chill.
Hey, I won't be far behind you, bro.
Yo, I'm bald. But shout out to the homie Jim from Ecto Third Dungeon, one of the sponsors. Ecto 10. You can save 10% from anything on his morph market. Just use that code Ecto 10. Yeah. So shout out to Jim Ecto Third Dungeon. And shout out to homeboy John at Mission Morris. He's not a bad slacker either.
Let's go.
Oh, yeah. And representing for the homie Fred MTZ Python, as always. The homie, yeah.
Come on.
We got a couple people up in the building chilling. So say what up to them before we get started. We got Mitzi in the building. Thanks for tapping in, Mitzi.
I do hard. I can't, they come weird for me, you know what I'm saying? That's hard,
It was a long time before I figured that out. I'm like, man, it just didn't work like that.
Right, that's how I feel over here, lobstered hands.
She got me when I'm like, no, it's love, man, it's love. Put the guns down. So he is not in witness protection, and we're gonna prove it. He's gonna be a guest on Balls and Things next month.
Come on.
Like 4 or 11, something like that. So we're gonna see him real soon.
Let's go.
We got my homeboy Seth in the building. Thanks for tapping in, Seth.
What's up?
Misty was telling us to let's go. So she was like, we was running a little late.
It was my fault. It was my fault.
It's just Justin's fault. He's getting the hair situated. He don't wake up like that. What up, C-Dub in the building? Appreciate you, C-Dub, for tapping in.
No, I sure don't wake up like that. Man, if you see how I wake
up. Johnny was good. Thanks for tapping in. We got my homeboy Sean in the building. Yeah. Make sure you give him a follow. This is his Instagram. So give him a follow on Instagram. Please do that. Do that. Yeah, so before we bring the homie out, we're gonna drop the sponsorship video.
Come on.
Lindworm Exotics specializes in a multitude of reptiles such as ball pythons, dumeral boas, coastal rosy boas, and false water cobras, to name a few. They are dedicated to providing the public with well-adjusted animals with superior quality. Follow them on Instagram and Morph Market. Black Box Reptile Cages should be your go-to for high-quality reptile enclosures and rack systems. They offer versatile hatchling and adult racks that work with both Vision and Freedom Breeder tubs, as well as a wide range of terrestrial, arboreal, and bioactive cages. Located in Beaufort, Georgia, Black Box Reptile Cages offers local pickup as well as ship and freight. Check them out at blackboxcages.com and use code WhiskeyBomb25 for 5% off. Selected Reptiles works with a wide range of genetic combos, including Hypo-VPI Xanthic, DG-VPI Xanthic, and Zebra, but where they stand out is their work with Monsoon, Monarch, Sunset, and other high-end morphs. In addition to reptiles, they produce premium feeder rodents delivering to Florida, Georgia, and North and South Carolina. Make sure to use promo code WhiskeyBomb5 for 5% off any snake. Check them out on Morph Market or reach out directly. From fur to feathers, Fuzzy Acres has your feeder needs covered. Whether you're looking for frozen rats, bulk rabbits, or harder to find feeders like quail and guinea pigs, they've got the stock serious keepers rely on. Visit fuzzyacres.com for clean, healthy feeders that are frozen and shipped with care. Remember to use code WhiskeyBomb10 to save 10% on any order, and as always, enjoy free shipping on all orders over $300. Grant and Mary of Rec Room Snakes have been breeding ball pythons and Woma pythons for over a decade. They're staples within the ball python realm and most notably known for their work with the paint mutation and putting it to multiple codoms and recessives to truly unlock its potential. Please give them a follow on Morph Market to check out their incredible animals and on Instagram to keep up with their projects. Ninja Balls is more than a breeder, he's a creator. He's the innovative thinker that brought you the Kiki Ball. He strives to make living works of art and improve upon them year in and year out. Follow him today on Instagram at Morph Market and know that with each purchase you make, you're getting quality.
Bone Daddy Serpents is just getting started in the ball python industry, but he has major plans involving high-end genes such as Monarch and Sunset. Please keep an eye out on him because his passion and determination is going to take him very far within this industry.
Come on.
Yes, sir.
You get the Fuzzy Acres now, guys. Use that code Whiskey Bomb.
Yes, sir.
Good stuff. I get Fuzzy Acres here and there.
Yeah. What you get?
Mice. For the hoggies. Yep, for the hoggies. I'll get some frozen mice. That way when I'm running low on my own stock here, I always got some in the freezer right here.
Right. They also got quail and ducks and they got all types of different fowl. Don't talk about. Yeah, and I would like to give a special shout out to Shades of Blue. Yeah, those are network sponsors, man. They find them on Instagram and on YouTube. Yeah. All right. So without further ado, we'd like to welcome out Bob Bledsoe of Green Room Pythons.
What's up, everybody? Hey, gentlemen.
Oh, we're doing good. I just I gotta give you a nice.
You know, they gotta give you the applause, Bob. You know.
Yeah. How you guys doing?
Doing good.
Good.
So,
hey, I like your Whiskey Bomb discount codes because I didn't know if it was okay that I was enjoying a fine scotch.
Let's go. And you're a scotch guy, so you're a sipper. Let's go. I like it.
Yeah.
What's your favorite scotch?
That's a Port Charlotte.
Okay.
Port Charlotte 10. One of my top 2 favorite scotches.
Let's go. My grandfather likes the J&B, I believe it is, the green bottle with the red cap.
That's a good grandfather bottle. It's a decent scotch, but it's for mixing. It's the bottom shelf. It's what all grandfathers drink.
Yep, he does. He'll sip it too. He'll pour his ice, and I'll sometimes during Christmas, I have a little sip with him, and I'm like, man, you can't finish a glass of that shit.
My grandfather did too. I don't remember I didn't know anything about it when I was a kid, but I think it might have been J&B that he was drinking also.
Yep. I always remember the distinct bottle, the green with the red cap.
Yeah. Right. Hey, everybody. Nice to see everyone in the chat.
I see those thick enclosures you got behind you, man. Those things are gorgeous.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, those are all live planted. We just tried to. I have black-headed pythons in these 2 cages, and
Come on.
bioactive is tough to do for heavy-bodied snakes. Period, but
Yeah.
especially black-headed pythons because they dig, and so I replant these all the time. And I just did a 24-hour live stream, and during that live stream, we replanted these cages, and we'll see how long these plants do. And
What keeps you moving them around, though, I would guess, by them doing that. That way, kind of always changing the scenery around, kind of putting a plant over here, then over here, or you put it in the exact same spot,
Yeah, and I'm always doing different things. Like I put these big tufts of grass right here are just stuck in the ground, and I'm hoping for the best. But the smaller plants I've put them in pots, and then zip tied screen over the top with the plant popping out, and then buried the pot. So we'll see what happens. Like every time I replant, there's a new strategy to try and keep them alive. But we'll see.
That's smart though. You're like getting innovative with it. You're like, I'm gonna figure this out. They're not gonna tear it up every time.
Yeah. But I've got like this retic right here. That's Stella. She's out moving around. Those are her original plants, and she hasn't killed them yet.
That's cool.
Oh, good job, Stella.
So she's just doing her thing,
That is sick.
Stella.
I like how you just flip cameras like that.
Right. He was on that back there. Oh man,
I haven't taken down anything from I did a live stream that went from 8 a.m. on Saturday to 8 a.m. on Sunday. It's now Wednesday, and I haven't torn anything down yet. So we got fancy stuff going on over here. We got this we got all kinds of stuff.
That's nice.
So you got to set up the hotkeys too, so you're using your hotkeys to flop over.
Well, I've got a thing. I've got a board for it.
Okay.
I've got a board that handles the sound, and I've got a board that handles the camera. So without getting too technical or boring, the computer thinks that this is just one camera, and the board switches between all 4.
That's smart. That's actually sweet. So you're computer savvy, obviously, which is really cool too.
No. Every time I get technology, I have to learn. I'm watching YouTube YouTube stuff, tutorials. Right. I had to learn all kinds of stuff. I'm starting a podcast in February. I'm launching a new podcast, and I got a ton of new equipment because it'll be a YouTube channel as well. Mm-hmm. But so it'll be a video podcast, but then it'll go on all the things. And so I got all this extra gear, and I had to learn it from scratch because I don't know anything.
Right. Well, that's the way to do it. YouTube is like the ultimate learning tool for all of us. I
learn everything on YouTube. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Learn how to cook an egg. YouTube. Your time.
Mm-hmm. That's how I do stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
How long you been growing your beard?
I get that question a lot, and this, I mean, I've had a beard for 8 or 10 years, but this is probably 2 years worth of growth. I would think. I trim it though, and it needs to be trimmed again.
Come on.
Oh, that's really nice. Memes 991. Thanks for that.
Come on.
That's really sweet.
Come on.
So Bob, kind of explain yourself to the audience. Kind of let the people know who you are.
I will attempt to explain myself.
Right.
I have a YouTube channel called Green Room Pythons, and I talk about snakes, and I have lots of different species of pythons. I have lots of ball pythons, but I have a bunch of other species as well, and I go around and find snakes in the wild. I go to South America and such like that and find snakes in the wild. But I'm fascinated by behavior and of these snakes. So I talk a lot about how to socialize a snake. I free roam my snakes, which I don't think everyone should do because not everybody's set up to do it, but I happen to be. So, I got a snake in that plant right there. You can see sort of
right there's the bottom,
curled up. Mm-hmm. And I have a ball python below her in a snake hide that you can't see because that bench is in the way. But I let snakes out in the morning and let them do what they want to do, and unless they're causing too much trouble, like that one, she went back in her cage right before we started this because she wouldn't settle. So
knocking down stuff,
punishment.
Yeah. But I tell you what, here, let me show you this real quick. This one. Can you guys see it? I can't.
Oh yeah, right in the pot, just hanging out.
That's Echo. That's my other retic, and she came out this morning at about 7 o'clock. She was ready to come out, and she curled up there right away, and then she came up into these plants up here for about an hour, and then she went right back where she was. So she's basically been there all day, no problem.
Look at that YouTube plaque. Come on,
let's go.
Let's go.
I'm not trying to show off the YouTube plaque. I want to show off the snake.
It's all good.
But I tell you what, though,
it's a good achievement, though. It's a good achievement.
It is an achievement. It came in December, and it's a big deal to get that. Like it doesn't do anything. Like it doesn't mean anything really, but it's the one time that. It's the first time that YouTube acknowledges you as a channel, and that's kind of cool,
Yeah.
So,
facts.
Yeah.
That is kind of like he said. It's like the work. It's actually you finally get a little acknowledgement after all the work.
Yeah. And really, it's the acknowledgement from the people who watch the channel that is the bigger deal. But when YouTube, the platform, acknowledges you, that's really cool. It's a cool thing,
Facts.
Yeah.
So you're breeding some ball pythons.
Yeah.
What else are you breeding?
Well, just this year, I've only bred ball pythons. And this year I'm putting retics together. I have a male retic on breeding loan from Garrett Hartle at Retail Reptiles. And I've just started pairing him with the snake that's currently in the plant right now. And they've completely ignored each other during all these pairings, which is to be expected for a while, but they'll figure it out, I think. So I'm working on that, and then I'm by the end of the year I'll be breeding the 2 black-headed pythons that are in these cages. I'm really surprised that at least one of them isn't out right now because they're usually out. And then I'm raising up a pair of I've got a little pygmy python, an anthill python, smallest python species in the world. I've got a female that's almost an adult. She'd be ready to breed next year. And then I have a baby male who will be ready like in 2 years. So in 2 years, I'll put the pygmy pythons together. Those are pretty rare. Not many people are breeding those. So I'm excited to get those going.
You're saying they're the smallest. So what are you feeding those?
They're tiny. So my almost adult gets hopper mice.
Okay.
And the young one who's he's like 6 months old, I think at this point, 7 months old. He just graduated from micro pinkies to just regular day old pinky mice.
Okay.
I've seen you in target training in one of the videos with the pygmy.
Yeah. I target train. Mainly target training is for the bigger snakes that have a really heavy food drive. So I don't do it with the ball pythons, and I do it mainly with these that are in cages here. But I wanted to see what the brain of a pygmy python is like, and so I target trained little Pip, and she took to it faster than just about any other python. And she does it better than most of them. Like sometimes, especially the retics, they get so excited that they'll strike at the target. And they don't strike at any other inanimate object. There would be no reason for them to, but they know that target means food, and their brain, the wires get crossed. They go, "Oh, food," and they'll strike. So they don't do it always, but they do it enough to where it's annoying. Pip, the little pygmy python, always does exactly. I think she's struck twice at the target before in her career of being target trained.
Yeah.
Usually she sees it, comes right out of her hide or wherever she is, makes a beeline for it, touches it with her nose, and gets her meal. Like happens like that.
That's sweet. That is really cool.
It's pretty cool. But I tell you, all of these snakes have target trained really well.
Heck
You know, they're easy, and I've target trained ball pythons too. I don't use it, but I did it just to
See if you could do it.
see if I can do it. Yeah, they train super fast as long as they're food motivated. You know, you got to do it with a food motivated.
Right. Now, when you're going about that, are they like some of them? Are they just constantly just napping at the target, and then you kind of like they slow down after that for a minute, and then you're kind of like, all right, here's the food. How are you going about it?
No, they don't strike at the target at all because they don't know what it is at first. It's just a thing, and they don't get it. But you're pairing the target with food. So the target's for me, it's a little green disc, but it can be anything. You know, like it could be your temp gun. It doesn't matter. For a lot of people that have lizards, you know, that have like monitor lizards, they figure out that the plate that they're feeding the lizard on becomes the target. You know, they're not trying to train the lizard, but as soon as it sees that plate, it knows what's up, right? So it's the same idea. You show the target, and then you give food right in front of the target, and that takes 1 to 2 times before the next time you show the target. They'll come up to it and go, oh, that I remember that as being something sort of significant. Let me see what that is. And as soon as it starts making the move toward the target, you reward with food. And then eventually, it only takes it doesn't take very long at all. Like 4 to 5 attempts. And then eventually they're like, that thing means food. They come right up to it. As soon as they touch it with their nose or tongue, that's when I give the food.
That's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah. And some people do it and like make them follow it around and do elaborate things. I'm not trying to do that. I just want them to engage their brain for a second, follow it for a minute, just come up to it, touch it with their nose, which is tricky because when a snake is in food mode, their thinking brain shuts off. So we're asking them to kind of
think,
rub their belly and scratch their head
right.
At the same time. It's kind of a difficult task. You would think that that's a simple thing because for a dog it's really simple, but when a snake in feeding mode is asked to think about something else, that's a tricky thing for him. Yep.
It's already, like you said, triggered those other receptors in its brain to go for it, and for it to have to stop that and think and activate other receptors in the brain to be like, okay, this is a target. Let me figure this out,
Yeah. It's I think they're wired for that kind of thing though. I was talking to someone recently about the fact that this is just my guess of snakes in the wild. Snakes aren't good at getting food, right? That's why they don't eat very often. Because they're always looking for it and they're always hoping for it, but they're not good at it. And so they're evolved to go months without eating. And when they finally are able to acquire that meal, they've got to be able to remember everything that happened surrounding how they got that meal, right? Where they were, what time of day it was, all that kind of stuff, that rats are running along this little trail in the evening or whatever. They got to learn all this stuff. And so I think that's why they target train so quickly. They really, and we're also only feeding them once a week. You train a dog, you got to do all this repetition a bunch of times a day with little treats, right? We don't have that with snakes. We get once a week, we get to do this target thing. And after 4 or 5, they pick up on it. They're like, that thing means food. I remember from last time.
Yep.
And I think they're just wired for that, to just remember everything that happened surrounding last time they were successful at getting a meal.
Come on.
Pretty cool.
It is. I almost want to try. I'm gonna give me a little stick, put me a little ball on it.
Yeah. It's easy. I mean, ball pythons. Yeah, just do it with your food motivated ones.
I got some that'll come out. You open that drawer, they are coming out. Especially they know it's feeding time. They're coming out.
I bet. I get a lot of people that are a little confused over it, that they'll send me a message. They'll go, oh, my ball python is a really picky eater, so I'm going to target train him so they know it's food time. And I'm like, no, you're not going to target train them. It's not like it doesn't work.
They're the least one going to pick it up.
Yeah.
It's going to take them a hot minute, unless they're kind of watching, which I still don't know. Even if watching another snake do it, would really even do the trick.
It's, I was just talking to someone who was talking about a study she was doing on that, on babies watching the mother acquire water and then go up and then follow and go up and drink water. out of the dish, which I think is interesting. Like just the fact that that might be a thing that they could learn by watching other snakes is something I've never thought of, but it's interesting, you know?
It's very, because then that makes you wonder too, like some of these snakes that are having hard time eating food, if you were to put it and cohabit in an enclosure with one that is heavy on food, would it pick it up and do that same thing? Like, hey, actually, I see him eating over here. Do I need to kind of tear up some, you know? Like, I want to know how that study comes out, because that study could actually help a lot of other things down the line if it actually comes out very accurate.
I mean,
you know?
There was a study, Tire Gods Morphs. I am so not a celebrity, but tell the producers in Hollywood that I'm a celebrity, and maybe
come on, tell them.
That's very nice of you to say, though. There was a study done that was published in the New York Times, actually, and I ended up having the lead researcher on one of my videos talking about it, where he put a bunch of young ones, a bunch of juveniles together to see how they would react, to see if they would come together or separate. They had all kinds of hides, no difference in heat or anything in this what they called an arena. And what they found is that these young ones congregated together. So I've done experiments here where I'll put a clutch of ball pythons that have just hatched in a breeder tub together with a whole bunch of hides. And same thing, they'll pick the smallest hides, and they'll like the smallest one that like one little snake could fit on, and they'll all pile up in a snake pile, and then the hide will be like their hat.
Right. It'll be like lifted up off of their body.
You got a pile of 8 baby snakes right here, and then this little hide.
Yep.
But they're, and then I can separate them and go, all right, you're going to go here, you're here, close the thing, and I'll open it back up again, and they're under a different hide altogether.
Yeah, and he just said my name.
Tire Gods Morphs. I said it twice now.
That's awesome. I wonder too, like doing that, how long and what age until they would separate each other? You know, if you kept them all in a decent size enclosure and you had them hatch, how long? Like, would it be 6 months? Would it be, a year until they're finally like, all right, let's kind of go our kind of separate ways? I kind of wonder how long it would take,
Yeah, I don't know really the answer to that, but here's my guess on this. My guess is that just about every species probably hangs out together at least until their first shed. Okay. Because as we know, when you hatch out ball pythons, right, or just about any other species, they're not doing much at all until that first shed, right? They're going to sit in a pile and just wait until they shed. So my guess is that they're with mom until that first shed. And we've seen I've seen some really interesting maternal behavior in scrub pythons with a clutch of scrubbies where the mother was actually giving maternal feedback to the babies, which is fascinating. Now that doesn't mean that doesn't mean that translates to ball pythons, but my guess is that that they do that. Well, here, I'll tell you something that happened with the first time I ever had ball pythons maternally incubate. I opened up the tub to check on them. They had all crawled out of their eggs, right? And the mama was getting tired of me, so she went off to the other side of the tub and went into a hide and popped her head right back out. So she's watching me the whole time, right? And I'm messing with the babies. I'm trying to see what I got. Like, ooh, here's this one and here's this one. And I put them back. She's watching me the whole time. As soon as my hands went away, she came right back over and wrapped around them. There were no eggs to hatch anymore. They were just hatched babies. Yeah. But she, I think that she knew that they weren't in danger because she didn't try to bite me or anything. She just left because she was annoyed. And I mean, I'm assuming she was annoyed.
It's crazy.
Crawling all over me. Yeah.
It's crazy you say that because a good friend of mine here locally, Patrick with North Florida Cold Blooded, he does everything maternally. Like last year, his whole collection he did maternally. And I seen him, what was it, like 2 years ago, the first clutch I watched him, he cut, like some of them came out and then he had to cut some of them. He's like, I'm going to cut some of them. But the mom, like you said, sat there and watched him and gave him the respect, like knew. And he was like, watch it. She ain't even going to try to bite me, nothing. She was like, it was like a respect thing. Like she knew he was helping her out. It was the coolest experience of me sitting there. I was like, are you kidding me? Me watching all this eye to eye, you know? I was like, what in the world, you know? He's like, man, this is why I love doing maternal. It's such a great experience. And now every time I go over there, he'll have them on eggs. I'm opening bins. I'm like, that's so cool watching them, you know? It's different. It's really definitely different. It is.
And it's really changed my mind. You know, I used to like to say, because it's kind of funny, and I used to really believe this, that ball pythons, you know, the mothers fiercely protect their eggs, but then as soon as the eggs hatch, the mom is like, what are all these babies ruining my eggs? Get out of here. You know, like the eggs are now ruined and she's done with her job. And that was fun to say, but that's not what happens. Like I've seen it enough now, maternally incubating several clutches, and I've seen it with other species of python, that there is maternal care at least up until those babies shed. And then it makes sense, like just for evolution and for survival, that if you're a little baby who's basically defenseless, it makes sense to stay with the group. Because if a hawk's going to come and pick off a snake and you're all by yourself, 100% chance that you're the one getting picked off versus 1 out of 8, you know.
Or you look at your buddies and be like, I hope you can run faster.
Yeah.
So that 24-hour stream, how was that, and what prep did you have to go through to accomplish it?
Man, it was so fun. I was really nervous I was just nervous to stay up for 24 hours. Mm-hmm. I'm in bed by 10, sometimes by 9, right? Like I'm not an all-night guy. And I never was. Even in my party years, I wasn't an all-night guy. I was like, man, I got to get home. It's getting to midnight. I'm out. So I didn't want it to be boring for me, and I didn't want it to be boring for the people watching. So I scheduled, like every hour, we scheduled guests to come on either in person in the room. I had lots of people coming in, but then people on video like Clint Laidlaw and Adam from Adam Wickens and Garrett Hartle, a bunch of different people. So it like flew by. There was one person. I had like 12 to 15 people that were with me at 8 a.m. and stayed and watched the whole time until 8 a.m. the next morning. And one of them, Tanya, is one of my Patreon folks. And Tanya, every single hour, starting with hour 1, notified us of the hour in a like a super chat comment, and then she made a rhyme about the hour, you know, like it was a rhyme. So it became this thing about like, what's Tanya going to say for the rhyme? It was fantastic.
That's cool. That is cool.
And we had fun. You know, we did things like we replanted the black-headed python cage, and I introduced a new snake on the channel. I got the coolest green tree python. So I introduced that.
That's cool. So you got a new pickup too. So a green tree.
I've never had an arboreal snake before. I have a bunch of semi-arboreals, but I've never had like a tropical, truly tropical, where I need a misting system on it, you know, snake. And the cool thing about this animal was that when I got it at Tinley, so I've had it for several months. So I've had it since October, right?
Heck yeah.
Yeah. And when I got it, it was like 8-9 months old, something like that, 10 months old maybe, and it was still bright yellow with just a shade of green on the head. And I thought, oh, this is cool. It's like starting to change. I'm going to watch it slowly change over the next few months. And never told anybody about it, but it stayed exactly that color up until a week and a half before the live stream. I opened this little snake's tub, and I'm seeing all these green scales, and I was like, whoa. And then the next day I open it up and more green scales, like massive changes. And it was bright yellow with brown scales. And I knew that based on the lineage, there's a chance that those brown scales could turn blue, but the chances are better that it would stay brown, but you just don't know. Like, you have no idea. And, so anyway, by the time the live stream came around, that snake is completely green with blue pattern. Like bright blue pattern and totally green. It's beautiful.
Come on.
It's real cool.
So what's the lineage on that one?
It's the locality. I said lineage. So it's an Aru Sarong cross, but it's 75% Aru. Sarong is where the blue comes from.
Okay.
So it's only 25% sarong. So the chances are not great that the pattern would be blue, but
it's still a
blue.
chance.
Yeah.
Right.
You want to see it? The light's still on in the case.
Heck yeah.
I'm not going to pull it out, but we'll just bring this camera around. Give me just 1 second.
No problem.
This is like a freshly changed green tree python.
Come on. And you said that was your first one too.
Yeah, first one.
So I'm guessing after this little experience, are you already thinking about grabbing some more or no?
No, I won't grab another one. You guys can see that, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that is cool.
Can you tell that all that purple pattern?
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's kind of purple, but it's turning blue. And the snake is still changing. Like it's still, you can see on the tail that yellow calico-ish look.
Yeah.
So there's still going to be a lot of change, but it's looking awesome.
That is too cool.
Yeah, especially when that turns blue, that's gonna look gorgeous.
Yeah, I mean the snake won't turn blue, but the pattern, the
Pattern, right? That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, the pattern. Once the pattern turns blue, it'll.
Yeah. Oh wait, I gotta close the cage. No,
you too.
Snake never leaves the perch, so it doesn't really make any difference. But just to be safe.
You got a favorite species that you like to work with, or?
I've always said that I love all my snakes, and I really love ball pythons. Even though I have all these other species, it's a lot of people that keep these other species and they dog on ball pythons. I'm telling you, the only reason they do that is because they started with ball pythons and they're like, oh, now I have these other species. So this is,
right.
Starter snakes. No, they're not. They're great. There's a bunch of reasons that they're great. But I always say that if I could only have one species, it would be a super dwarf reticulated python.
Okay.
Just because of how interactive they are, how intelligent they are. They're super smart. But I've got this new scrub python, fairly new.
Yeah.
Thanks, memes. That I don't know that I like the scrub python better than the retics. He's still pretty young. He's still just a yearling, but man, he's cool. I'm a big fan. I don't know that I'm a big fan of scrub pythons just in general, but I am of this one, the one that I have. Awesome.
I would say, but like the scrub will musk on you compared to the retic, right?
I've never smelled any musk from on a scrub.
No. Okay.
So I don't think they might. Maybe they do, but I've never had it.
I want to say the first one I held it gave me a good little mess, and I was like,
right.
yeah. Well, it was a cool experience for sure. It was my first big. He's kind of teaching me how to handle it. He's like, look, this thing could be quite wild, nippy. Some of it. Like, all right, let's do it. But yeah, it did. I believe that was the one that I could be wrong. Don't hold me to it. I like my green tea. So, but it could be. I'm pretty sure it was a scrub that got me.
Scrubs are no joke in general because a lot of them that you're seeing are wild caught or they're F1s. Mine actually is F1, but he's a little bit different. And so they're big animals. They're skinny, but they're long.
They're long.
And they got big heads and they have big teeth and they're not afraid to use them. So. People that work with scrubs a lot of times are like, yeah, man, these snakes are no joke. But when you get one that's hand raised, that's totally socialized, they're super smart. Douglas comes right out onto my hand. I let him cruise around on top of here. I watch him because he's still pretty small, but he cruises all over the place and checks everything out. He's super, super inquisitive.
That's cool.
He's great.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Shout out to Douglas. What up, Josh? I seen the video with him on it too.
With Douglas?
Yes.
Yeah. He's real cool. I like him a lot.
Come on.
But all those other species, the thing that ball pythons have is that I can sit here and edit with a ball python around my neck, which I did this morning. I had a ball python in my lap and one around my neck, and I'm editing and I'm working and I'm not having to go hand over hand and being like, oh,
yeah.
all these other ones that I love, you can't do that. When you have that snake in your hand, you got to focus on the snake, you know.
Facts.
So.
That's like my big carpet girl. If I pull her out, she'll definitely be all over the place. My smaller carpet now, my Populin wants to wrap around my hand and just sit there, or put around my neck. It'll sit there, you know. Eventually, it'll want to wander. But like you said, the ball pythons, wherever I set it, it's gonna damn near wrap around that and just stay right there. It ain't going nowhere.
Yeah. I do have some that like to free roam, and they know that they can, so they'll leave my lap sooner than you would think, you know, because like, oh, I know where my favorite spot is in the room, and I'm usually allowed to just go there, so I'm going to take off.
Right. That's where I'm going. I'm going over here, Dad. You know.
But I've got a lot of ball pythons, and they all act a little bit differently. So if I want one in my lap, I know who to grab, you know.
Right. Yeah. That's one thing I can say too, is I love that, like, every one of these bins, all these ball pythons have a different personality. Yeah. Every one of them, I can say that, you know, and that's where I feel like a lot of people get misconstrued over the ball pythons, is they're all like, oh, they're all the same. They're all the same. Like, no, they're not all the same, actually. Like, this one can be a butthead. This one's really cool. This one's finicky, you know. This one just wants to lay down in your lap and get warm, you know. Yeah.
I mean, there's accurate things that we can say about the species, you know, from species to species. We can say they act like this, they're like this, these are characteristics, but then within that you've got individual personalities of every snake. Which is interesting.
That's why we won't even name them until we see a personality half the time. You know, we literally won't. The old lady will be like, no, we're not. We're going to wait. You know, and she'll come in here, hold it, and just sit on the couch with it, hold it. And she's like, it's this. It did this, and it's this. I'm like, all right, baby, that's what it is. You know?
Yeah.
No, it's fun for sure. That's why I love doing this hobby, is because of that. And I just got recently into the carpets, and the carpets are amazing. I love the fact I come to my building now, and they're hanging out on a branch, and you see it. You know,
I'm a big fan of carpets. I'd bring mine out, but I fed them yesterday.
What kind of carpet you got?
I've got a beautiful axanthic coastal carpet python.
Come on.
And I have a Brettles.
You have Brettles. Come on.
A hypo Brettles that's so pretty.
Let's go. So you got a hypo brittle. Come on.
Yeah. They're real cool. I like the carpets. They're young though. They're like a year and a half, you know.
Okay.
I got the way I got these. I was talking to Nick Mutton about a Brettles python, and I bought this Brettles python from him, and he was telling me about these clutches of Partho babies. He had paired one specific male to 3 females, and all 3 females, it triggered them to lay Partho clutches.
Oh, wow.
Which is weird. He's like, we've never seen that before. We're going to do some genetics testing, but now I've got all these Partho babies. And he goes, I can't sell them to people because they're, you know, my name is attached, and a parthenogenic baby, just for the audience that doesn't know, that means that the mother has doubled up her genes to produce a baby without the male sperm, to produce a viable clutch of eggs without the male. And genetically, they're not as strong. So they could be fine until they're 7 years old, and then they just die.
Correct.
And so Nick, and this totally makes sense. I'd feel the same way. I don't want to sell that snake to someone where 7 years later they're going to go, I got a snake from Green Room Pythons and it died in 3 years or whatever, 7 years, whatever it is.
Especially Mutton, he don't want that on his name. He's got such a great reputation. He definitely don't want that, you know.
For sure. So anyway, he sent me my Brettles python, and he put one of those Partho babies in the box for me. He just gifted it to me because he knows that I wouldn't do that. I'm going to have the snake on the channel,
right?
That's the axanthic coastal carpet python. But then about 6 or 8 months later, he emailed me and he goes, Bob, we did genetics testing on that male, or on these babies. They're not Partho. These are fully strong. But the thing about the male is the male is incapable of producing male babies, which also is something we've never seen before. So they're trying to figure out what's
so now it's kind of like a female maker.
It's a female maker for sure. Yeah.
Like, that's pretty freaking cool, you know. Shout out Nick Mutton. I mean, he'll be the guy to figure it out, you know. Come on.
Right.
I mean, the guy's got me and Nick actually, Keys, we interviewed him, and when we asked him, it's like, what python species? He's like, well, let me go on. It's easier for me to list the ones I don't have. It's like, okay, you got every one of them.
He's in that competition with Ryan Young to breed every species of python on the planet.
Yep.
Mm. Oh
So,
wow.
yeah.
And he's got some species over there too, from my understanding, that are like kind of newly discovered that nobody's even heard or seen before.
Well, it's that he's figured out that this should actually be a species, but it's not. Science hasn't caught up to it yet.
Yeah.
So he's like, look, I've got these. I'm saying that they're a different species, and I'm breeding them as a different species, even though science hasn't caught up yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
He'd definitely be ahead of the game compared to them too.
It's kind of like when they discovered the northern anaconda, the biggest anaconda on the planet, and a few years ago they said this is a new species of anaconda. They didn't just find that snake; they knew that there were northern anacondas, but what they just discovered is that genetically it's different from the other snakes. They look exactly the same that live south of where the northerns are.
That's pretty wild. That's actually pretty wild.
Yeah.
Just to know that, like, they're like, okay, well, now this is genetically completely different. It isn't even the same at all.
There's a big argument over it. There's people go back and forth, which always happens whenever you try to classify anything differently. You get battles. So now we got geneticists battling back and forth over whether it is or isn't. But the cool thing about that, I was taking my second trip to the Amazon jungle to Suriname, where the Northerns live. And a couple weeks before my trip, the articles came flying out saying, hey, these Northern anacondas are a different species. So my timing was perfect to go and catch one. I had already caught one in the Amazon before. I'd had them, but they weren't a new species then,
Right.
So we went and found the biggest one that I've ever held, which was a 10-footer. Which isn't that big, that it's not, right. That's not huge for a but biggest one I've ever held, and pulled her out of the water and got to make a video and be like, you guys, this is the new species,
So what would be record, like 20 feet?
20 feet would definitely be a record, because they haven't, there's been anecdotal reports of ones over 20, but nothing, nothing on record. But they're huge. They're really heavy bodied. So 300 pounds, they're heavier than reticulated python.
I couldn't even imagine a 20-foot. You got to have 15 people,
Yeah. I mean, there's people that are, like Paul Rosalie, he goes in there and he'll go with two other guys and they'll jump on the biggest ones and wrestle them out of the water. Which is crazy,
Yeah. But grab my hand, bro. No.
Yeah. But, I mean, those are twice the size of the one that I had, and I mean, not twice the length, but twice the size in weight, girth. Yeah, they're massive.
And I can only imagine. Really, that's weight, or like you said, and you're hopping in the water with them, like that. It's easily to just wrap you and take you right under with you, and you're like, oh, here we go for a ride. We go.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
You have a favorite place that you've been herping? A favorite place that you've been herping?
Say that into the microphone one more time.
Favorite place that you've been herping at, like besides Suriname?
It was the word favorite that I couldn't get. So Suriname is my favorite place because of the diversity. The Amazon jungle. They say that the Amazon jungle is the most diverse population of animals that we've ever seen on the planet, ever. So, and it's crazy. I mean, I've seen jaguars, I've seen pumas, which are cougars, basically. I've seen harpy. I saw a harpy eagle, monkeys, sloths, tons of snakes, tons of lizards. It's nuts. There's just stuff everywhere. But the most beautiful place I've ever been is an island called Dominica. Not the Dominican Republic. That's different. There's an island in the West Indies called Dominica, which looks like Jurassic Park as you're flying in. And unbelievably, it's more beautiful than the Amazon jungle, which I couldn't have thought there could be a place. But it's insane. But there's only a small handful of snakes.
Okay.
That are there. There's one boa species. One of the rarest boas in the world lives on this island, and we went and found it. We found one, and then a few other snakes, but there's not much on that island.
Okay.
How close were you to the harpy eagle? Those are massive.
We were far enough away to question whether it was a harpy or not, and we had a couple guides with us that were like the top hunters in their village, and now they've become eco guys. They decided that they're not hunting anymore, and they're gonna try to promote ecotourism, and they assured us that it was definitely a harpy eagle. It was huge. But I wanted to see the face, and I couldn't see the face. Yeah. So I was like, I don't know what other huge birds there are. Like, was it a pterodactyl? I don't know, It's crazy. But here's the weird thing. We're on the river most of the time. We're in a boat on the river, and the trees are so tall along the river that you could look up and barely see macaws flying. They look tiny, but the macaws are below the canopy. They're still below the tops of the trees.
Those are some tall trees, and those are some very tall. Yeah. Macaws are very. I have parents, and I grew up around them, but macaws are very big. You can get some.
They're huge. Yeah.
So like you said, like that's a tall tree. Like holy shit,
Yeah. It's pretty amazing. But yeah,
trees we don't have here locally.
What's that?
I said trees we don't have here locally.
No, they're huge, and just going super slow in the boat. We're going down the river looking for emerald tree boas. That's sort of the target species that we're trying to find. So we're going. It's like 2 a.m. We're going super slow along the river. So much easier to herp in a boat than marching through the desert or something, which is what I'm used to doing. And you're looking up in these trees with flashlights, right? But first of all, you can smell when you get into anaconda territory because they musk. Talk about a snake that musks.
Really?
Massive amount of it, and it smells worse than any musk I've ever smelled. It's awful. Wow. So you can tell when you're in the area because you can smell them. But then also, like, you turn your flashlights off and look into the trees, and it's pitch black, but you can see fireflies darting through the trees, and it looks like stars. It looks like you're looking up into the sky in the stars, cool. But you're looking forward, and it's fireflies.
That's cool.
It's amazing.
Cool.
Yeah, it's magical. Yeah, it's cool.
Were there monkeys out there too?
Yeah. The monkeys, we'd see them, especially in the morning. We were sleeping. We're sleeping in hammocks. We're like deep in the jungle, stringing our hammocks between trees, and your hammock has a built-in bug net, so you just zip yourself in, but you can see through the bug net. So in the morning, you wake up and you just look over to the right, and you see down the forest a little ways monkeys jumping around playing grab ass with each other. Super fun.
That's cool. That is cool.
Yeah,
that's what it would be experience for me. Is I would love to go out and see some wild monkeys and shit like that, like zebras, lions and shit like that. I would freak out. I'd be like, holy crap, this is awesome,
Yeah, I'd love to do a trip for sure.
Yeah, that's one thing that me and my old lady talk about is Africa would definitely be a trip that would be fun for us for sure.
Yeah.
And there's a lady we follow actually that's in Africa, and the photos she shows is driving down the road and stopping and taking pictures and stuff. You're like, holy crap, that is cool,
Well, Dave Kaufman likes to show off and text me the stuff while he's doing it, which I love. And he's in Uganda right now. And he just texted me during my live stream. He went up and saw the gorillas. He went up the mountain and saw the gorillas. And he texted me video of like a big silverback and a baby gorilla that's like just feet away from him.
Oh, wow.
Incredible.
That is incredible.
The video that he's going to get is going to be amazing. But yeah. It's crazy, and then he sent me a video of chimps. He was around a group. What do they call it? I think of it as an army of chimps. Those things are freaking scary. I wouldn't be scared to be around gorillas because they've never hurt humans before. Gorillas haven't. They're super peaceful, but chimps will rip your face off. And other things, they're freaking scary, man. Those things.
Yeah, and they run in like little packs and shit too. So it's like you ain't gonna get hit by one. You're gonna have multiple coming at you.
Literally an army of chimps. Yeah.
Of course, a silverback though. I mean, that's big ass gorilla. Like that's
They
pretty
can kill you with
intimidating.
one hit.
One hit.
That's why they're not aggressive like that.
And you see sometimes, like I see these videos of groups that they take up to see the gorillas, and they give them all the instruction. Don't look them in their eye. Just sit there. They'll come and interact with you. Don't touch them. And you'll see sometimes one will walk by and like push somebody over, and it's nothing for them to push them over, but they're not attacking. They're just they're just being gorillas.
They're just being like out of the way, move, keep going.
Yeah.
Can you imagine though? Oh,
I know. I mean, I would love to be pushed over by a gorilla. That'd be amazing.
Right, and what are you told too? Like, don't react. If they do push over, just
don't react. Don't look at them. Don't look at them.
Yeah. Like, that's crazy, but that would be an experience. Like that would be a fun ass experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's on my list.
Come on. Yeah, that just I would definitely be very intimidated. But like you said, like going with a pack of people and you have a handful of people that's done it quite a few times, it'd definitely be a lot easier for me than just here we go willy-nilly with some random guy. Like, we're gonna go see these guys. Like, no.
Yeah.
How many different species of pythons do you own?
So I've got let's see, I have ball pythons, reticulated pythons, one scrub python, black-headed pythons, a carpet python, and a Brettles python.
Come on.
Pygmy pythons, green tree python, scrub python. I have a new scrub python. He's pretty awesome. I mean, not scrub. I already said scrub. Rough scale python.
Rough scale. Oh shit.
Are you guys familiar with rough scale pythons as far as their story?
No.
Because I love telling the story. Here's the cool. Hold on. Let me get him, and then I'm going to tell you the story about rough scale pythons. Hang on a second.
Come on.
Good.
Hang on.
Come on.
Right? Come on.
It's the best story. Hey, bud. So I like a snake with a good story. Same with whiskey. I like a whiskey with a good story.
Gotcha.
Hell yeah. I'm with you there. Come on.
And this little roughie, they're called rough scale pythons because they're the only python that has a keeled scale. So you're not gonna be able to see it, but they have keeled scales. Oh, he brought a stick with him. He's got a new bioactive cage. But so they're just a brown snake, but they have keeled scales, which is cool, and they've got huge eyes, like ice blue eyes that you can't really see in this camera, but maybe you can in this one.
Kind of like a cat eye.
Yeah. Hold on. Whoops. We got it. There it is. Oh no, I don't have light on that one. Dang it.
No light.
Oh yeah, you can definitely see it's got bigger eyes on it.
Yeah, but big, huge eyes and giant teeth also. But okay, so here's the thing with rough scale pythons. Let me tell you. So these were discovered. They were actually originally discovered like in the late 1970s, but we only had photographs of them. They have the smallest region of any python in the world. So they only live in this little. They live like in one canyon in the Kimberley region in Australia. It's tiny. It's the only place they have them. And so they discovered them and they took a picture because they're super elusive. There's not even many of them there. And they were like, hey, we found this new snake. It's got keeled scales. We're calling it a rough scale python. They described it, whatever. And that was it from the late 1970s. In the early 1990s, the government allowed a couple of guys to go and find some to try to collect and bring them back to the Australia Zoo, I guess, to breed. And so they went and they found a couple and brought them back. And as it turns out, the two that they found were females.
Oh, wow.
So
that ain't gonna help.
They were like, okay, you can go back and try to get a male so that you can breed these two females. And they went back, and I mean, the snake is hard to find. The place where they live is hard to get to. And then once you're there, the snake is hard to find anyway. So the only rough scale python they could find was at the moment being eaten by an olive python.
Oh wow.
Oh wow.
Snake, right? The olive python had just grabbed the snake and wrapped it. So they ran up and saved this rough scale python from the jaws of an olive python. That snake turned out to be a male. And from that snake, they went and bred it with the other snakes in the zoo. And then those babies got into the pet trade in Australia, and that was back when we could still import stuff from Australia. So every snake that we have now is a descendant of that one male that was being eaten by an olive python.
Almost died.
That is cool. That is cool.
It's pretty crazy. The other crazy thing about these rough scale pythons is they also discovered that there's a rodent that only lives in this canyon in the Kimberley region, also just lives there, that has evolved. So first of all, these guys have the longest head to teeth ratio of any python. They don't have the longest teeth of any python, but they're a pretty small species, but their teeth are longer to head ratio than any other python. So they were like, oh, they're for sure eating birds. They're like, that's what we always think is if they have long teeth, they're snatching birds out of the air, which no snake is doing that, right. They might get a bird, but it's roosting, right? And still that's hard to do. Right. But what they found is there's a rodent in that canyon that has evolved to slough off its skin if it gets caught by a snake. So if it catches it, it drops its skin and then grows it back, which is super gross, right? Yeah. But that's what they do. So the teeth have evolved to grow a little bit longer to get through the skin and into the body. Okay, now here's the craziest thing. We're in the Amazon jungle looking for emerald tree boas, which have the longest teeth of any non-venomous snake in the world. They have massive teeth, right? Everybody assumes it's because they're catching birds out of the air, which they're not. And while we were there, I asked our guides, I said that we're there at night. And as soon as it's night, you see these tree rodents running all over the trees. So that's clearly what the snakes are eating. Yep. A rat is much, a rat that's jumping along the branches is way easier to catch than a bird, right? Yep. And so I mentioned it. I said, well, that's probably what the emeralds are eating. And they were like, yeah, of course, that's their main food. And he goes, they lose their skin. And I go, what? And he goes, yeah, they can slough off their skin and grow it back. So we've got now a totally different species, obviously, because other side of the world. And we've got a rodent who's evolved to slough off their skin, and then snakes that have evolved the massive teeth to get through that.
That's wild.
On the opposite side of the world. It's crazy.
That is crazy, which makes sense, Yeah.
You got convergent evolution. These don't look like emerald tree boas, but green tree pythons that are in Australia and Indonesia look just like emerald tree boas. They sit on a branch just like emerald tree boas. But completely different snake, but they've evolved to do the same thing, to fill a niche that's similar in the Amazon jungle versus the jungles on the other side of the earth,
They learn to adapt. They evolve into adapt to their surroundings. Exactly. Yeah. It's like any of us or anything, you put us in the middle of something, we're going to adapt or we're going to die.
Yeah. It's super fascinating. So when I learned about rough scale pythons, I was like, man, I got to have one of those.
That's cool.
It's just a brown snake, but it has the coolest story that I've ever heard. And really, when you look, I wish I could show you a close up of his face because it's crazy. They are really cool looking, but they're just brown.
Well, when you say rough scale too, my first thought was like the dragon snake. That is very hard to keep.
Rough scales.
Yeah, it's really rough, and I know it's really hard to keep in captivity, from my understanding.
Yeah.
I have a hard time with those.
I just heard that there's a few people that are having luck with them now.
Yep.
I'm really curious about.
Yes.
I had some. It was Clint. I was interviewing Clint for that live stream, and I think he told me that there are a few people that are having luck with them.
We just had somebody, I don't know who, I can't, green tea again, but we just had somebody that was saying that they were keeping them pretty successful. And they're definitely, the moisture is a big key thing with them for sure. from my understanding. So, but it is pretty cool to hear that people are successfully doing it. And I think now that they're getting successfully to hold them, keep them in captivity, next is going to be breeding. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, they're pretty crazy looking.
Which is kind of like what monitors are those that I want to say? There's a certain monitor too. It's a very popular one that's mainly wild caught. It was hard for them to finally breed in captivity, and I think it was the last year or two somebody finally bred them in captivity.
Oh yeah.
Normally we find them; they're normally wild caught. It's a certain type of monitor. I can't remember what one it is, but I know it's a certain type of monitor that's very popular. I want to say is it the Savannah monitor, maybe.
Maybe.
I mean, not wild caught. I mean, normally wild caught, but it's pretty cool that these guys now are starting to lock it down and figure out how to do it in captivity throughout the years.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Hey, Smiley Heart Exotics, thanks for that comment. That was really nice.
Yes.
Come on.
Oh, that's nice. Thanks so much for that.
Come on. Mitzi.
Yeah, I mean, these animals are super interesting.
Oh yeah.
The nice thing about roughies is they're very unlikely to bite. They're not like most people. They do have long teeth, and once they get to size, they're not a big snake by any means, but they got big teeth, and so you don't want to be bit by them. But they almost never bite. So.
Super handleable. So your feeding practices, are they all the same for all your snakes?
Not really. I have different strategies for different ones. I have like my carpet pythons and my scrub python are the same age, but I've been raising them up. The strategy is a little bit different. My carpet python and my Brettles python, I'm growing slower because that seems to be the healthier way to feed them. What's been figured out with scrub pythons is that it's healthier for them if they get up to size. Their first year and a half or so of growth is critical. So you feed them bigger meals and get them kind of as big as you can without power feeding, but you're just giving them a big lump in their belly.
Right.
Until they're about this age. I'm going to start slowing him down after his next few meals probably. But I've been feeding him every week, big lump in his belly. And so he's a bit bigger than the carpets. So that, based on the species, it's a little bit different. And the green tree python, very different. You want to feed them small meals. They have a tendency to they can regurgitate for one thing, but prolapse is a thing with them. So you got to be a little careful,
Yeah, don't say it, especially the green trees. That's like a scary thing to happen as a prolapse.
Yeah. That and you know what? That's why I was happy I got mine from Garrick DeMeyer, who's been breeding them for years. He's a ball python guy, as you know, but he also has been breeding these green tree pythons for years, and he had these were well started, 8 months old, I think, when I got them. So it's better if they're almost a year old because they're kind of beyond that stage of prolapsing.
Right. I actually just watched a video where it was hanging and the guy had to get the stuff out of it and then push it. I don't know if he pushed it back up, but he got the thing back up in there. So, and I was like, wow, that would be a heck of an experience for sure.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you do. Smiley Heart Exotics, you were one of the ones who stayed from the beginning on that 24-hour live stream. That's impressive.
Come on.
Thanks for your comment. That's really nice.
Come on.
Yeah, we're sipping on Port Charlotte 10 for those who weren't here in the beginning. This is one of my top 2 favorite scotches, and the reason I'm drinking it, they're not cheap. Port Charlotte 10 is not a cheap scotch, and so I don't drink it very often because I don't want to waste it. But someone came over. One of my Patreon supporters, Christy, came over during the live stream and brought me a bottle of Port Charlotte 10. So that's the bottle that I already had open, and I have a new bottle, so I feel like I can drink it.
Right. You're like, oh, now I'm not worried not having no more of it.
Because I have an unopened bottle waiting for me.
Come on.
So what's number one? What's number one as far as the whiskey, the scotch?
Oh, well, it's either I go back and forth, Port Charlotte or Lagavulin 16. And I mean, there's other scotches that are way more expensive, but as far as something that I'm willing to pay for, you know,
right.
It's Port Charlotte and Lagavulin 16. I like very heavily peated Scotch, and for those who don't know what that is, it's Scotch that tastes like bacon and garden soil and leather and a forest fire. And I'm not exaggerating. Those are the things that it tastes like. And that, I know I'm not selling it well. It doesn't sound like that would taste good, but it's absolutely delicious.
You gotta like a bite. That's the way I can put it. You gotta like a bite. Of course, I don't know. I haven't tried the Port Charlotte, but a lot of scotches I have tried, like it's a bite. Like it's like good. Like you want to grit your teeth and breathe almost every sip. You know, no, that's kind of like how I feel about it. Compared to a whiskey or a vodka, it's definitely that sour bite to it. You know.
Yeah, a lot of people know Lafroig. So for folks who've tried Lafroig, that's another one that's probably the most popular Islay Scotch, just because it's you can get it in the grocery store, but heavily peated and tastes like leather thrown into a campfire with a little bit of bacon. It's fantastic.
Well, I love bacon and I love campfire.
Yeah.
It's a glass of bacon. Yeah.
Can't go wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
What's been your favorite show to attend?
You know, I attended Tinley for the first time in October. I hadn't been there before, and I had a blast at Tinley. I wouldn't even say because of the show, but it's because of the people. You know, like that's sort of the social event of the year for the people in the industry. There's a lot of people there. I enjoy the Pomona Reptile Show because that's a big show with a lot of folks there too. But Tinley might be my favorite, even though I've only been 1 year. You know,
Haven't made it to Daytona.
I haven't been to Daytona, but I plan to make it. I'm going to do more out of town shows this year. What I've been doing up until this year, I'm a stand-up comic and I tour festivals. And so in the summertime, I'm on my festival tour. I do like Renaissance festivals and things like that. Yeah. And I decided this year that I'm not taking any festival gigs, and that might mean that I'm retiring from that. Not from like, I'll still do like comedy shows occasionally here and there, but I might be retiring from doing that festival thing because it basically takes me out for the summer. You know, I'm flying out to a festival to perform Saturday and Sunday, flying back home on Monday, fly back on Friday, back and forth. And hey, that 22-hour mark was boring, so it's a good time to close off Smiley Heart Exotics. But anyway, so the point is that I'm not going to be on tour this year doing those shows, so I'll be able to make it to more festivals.
Come on,
nice.
You know.
Well, we definitely turn up in Daytona. We have a fun time, that's for sure.
Yeah,
Daytona. Yeah, I've heard that's a great show, and I want to make it. When is the next? Is there 2 in Daytona each year?
Nah, just the one.
Just one. And when does it happen?
You have the Orlando one that's like an hour away though.
July. Like the second, third week in July, third weekend.
No, isn't it August? Okay. He's in August.
Yeah, August. You're right.
He's in August.
So Garrett is doing Reach Out Reptiles does Retic Fest they haven't set a date. I was just talking to Garrett about this today. They haven't set a date yet.
The Georgia one,
I haven't done Georgia Renaissance Festival. I used to do Texas Ren Fair, which is the largest one in the world, but August 17th, that's the
Daytona.
That's Daytona. Okay.
Yep.
So hopefully Retic Fest doesn't run into that. But and I don't think it will, because I think he's going to do it in July. Anyway, I try to stay on the West Coast for the Ren Fairs when I was doing them. As of last year, I was doing like 5 weeks in Washington, 5 weeks in a row in Washington, 4 weeks in a row in Oregon, a whole bunch through California. I would do Utah, just a bunch of them.
Come on.
But
that sounds fun though. Like, what would you do in them?
Oh man, it's super fun. I have a comedy show that I wrote specifically for Renaissance fairs. It's like in character, but I juggle flaming battle axes and chainsaw blades that I set on fire.
Come on.
It's a ridiculous show. But it was, I used to tour as just a regular stand-up comic. It was me and a microphone. And I decided that was not my thing. I didn't want to be a touring comic. I didn't like that lifestyle. And so I stopped doing it, and I just wrote this show for Renaissance fairs. And I realized that you've got to do something visual. You can't just stand up there and talk at a Renaissance fair. You're playing to children and drunk adults outside in the middle of the day. Yeah. You got to have something big. And the only
interactive more,
Yeah. The only thing that I could do visually was I knew how to juggle. And I thought, well, I'm not good at it. Like, I can flip 3 things in the air and juggle them and keep them in the air. So I'm not like a good juggler by any means. But if I find the most dangerous things if I can have somebody build me really dangerous stuff to juggle, then I don't have to I don't have to go behind my back or under my leg or juggle 10 things at once. Yeah, so I have like these big double-headed battle axes that I set on fire, and I have like knife blades, but with a chainsaw chain attached, and I set those on fire. And
that's cool.
Cleavers and stuff like that. Wow. So they're gonna collect dust at least this year. We'll see what happens.
So you don't ever go out in the backyard and practice, or just throw them around?
I never practice. When I decided I was going to do this, I had to practice because I had never juggled fire before. So I took them down to a beach that allows fire pits in Los Angeles, the only beach that allows fire pits. And I thought, I probably won't get arrested if I practice on this beach. And I just sort of practiced. And my character in the show is not a good juggler, which makes it fun that he's juggling super dangerous stuff, But so I don't have to be good. So I never practice. The only practice I get is when I'm on stage.
Well, that and on the beach, the sand definitely is giving you some good. I was gonna say, give you some good experience because you're in the soft sand, so you're not on a level playground,
Well, it's more of like, even if you're pretty good at juggling, first of all, battle axes are super heavy. They're real, they're actual. They're not sharpened, but they're metal and wood, and they're heavy. And when even if you're good at juggling and you can flip them, you go, okay, now let me light them on fire. Well, now all of a sudden you've got these big flames in your face and you're nervous. And the one thing that you have to do to be able to juggle well is relax. You've got to be like in this relaxed zone, and you cannot relax when you've got, at first when you have giant flames in front of you. So you got to get used to it and just be able to drop them all the time. So dropping them into sand is no problem,
Right. And I'm sure they go out too when they hit the sand. No,
they're on fire with fuel.
Okay.
So they stay lit. You can blow them out, but sand doesn't put them out.
Yeah. Are you barefoot doing this or no?
What's that?
So are you barefoot doing this? Because you're in the sand. Well, I'm thinking like.
No, I wear good shoes.
So there goes the big toe.
big crazy boots at the Renaissance Festival. I can drop them on my feet, no problem.
I'm talking about the beach though, when you're practicing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was wearing shoes.
Good.
Okay, I'm gonna put this guy back because he's getting squirrely.
Come on.
Yeah, props to you. That's wild. I would have never thought that.
Yeah, that's been a really fun gig, but it's become. I mean, I would rather be in the Amazon jungle finding snakes.
Yeah.
Even though it's really fun, it's a really fun thing to do. I'm doing something now that I find more fun, and I'd rather do that. But the other thing, the thing that really made me decide to stop doing it is, at least this year, is that I'm starting a podcast that's completely different, not reptile related. It's launching in February, and it's like another full-time job to fully produce a podcast where I have research and all kinds of stuff. And I know that I can't do my YouTube channel, a weekly podcast, and be a touring comedian at Renaissance festivals. So I had to drop one.
Come on. That makes sense. And you got to do what you love to do. You know, that's why I always say you gotta build yourself in your life up to when it's that time you're doing something you love to do. Put it that way.
Yeah.
I tell a lot of my friends, I'm like, bro, you don't want to go to a job that you hate going to every day. Like that's the thing you don't want to do.
It's true. I got to where everything that I did that I've done for a living in the last like 10 years or so, 10, 12, maybe 15 years has been stuff that I love. I've taught music, which I love music, and I like teaching, but I don't like it that much. So I dropped that as soon as I could. And the Renaissance Fair I love doing. Snakes I'm really passionate about, obviously. And so there we go.
Come on.
So you got a date set in February, or you're still?
What's that?
You got a date set for your podcast in February?
You know, I don't have a date. I'm probably going to have a date set in the next couple days. I finally have my first 3 episodes recorded and edited. So I'm dropping 3 episodes at once, which is kind of what you should do if you're starting a YouTube channel or a podcast or anything. You drop 3 or 4 episodes at once so that people can hear the first one and then roll to the next one. You know, and they're
going to want more. They're going to be hungry for more and want more. You know.
Yeah, and then so I'm dropping 3 episodes at once. The podcast is called "Aliens Are Behind Everything" and Other Probably True Nonsense. So
come on, that's awesome.
It's aliens, it's cryptids, it's like government conspiracies, cover-ups, stuff like that. Missing persons, paranormal stuff, anything that might be true, like.
Are you touching base on flat Earth stuff and stuff like that?
No, not that kind of stuff. Not because I'm not a conspiracy theorist.
Okay.
But so we're not talking about conspiracy theories like that, like the moon landing didn't happen or flat Earth or anything like that. I'm talking about stuff where we know that the government had a base that they're covering up. They had a base in Southern California. Area 51 is a base
51. Right.
That we now know the files have been opened. We know that they were covering that up, so it's stuff like that.
And a lot of future technology was brought from there,
all that kind of stuff. So it's more about like paranormal type stuff and cryptids and aliens and stuff like that. So that will be on all the podcasts. The audio will be on all the podcast things, Spotify and such like that. But it'll also be on YouTube if you want to watch my beard flap up and down as I talk into a microphone. That's it'll be on YouTube.
Nice.
Well, if the people come knocking on the door in suits, just yell. You got to have a code word.
Hey, we're going to talk about the Men in Black. That's a whole thing. That's a whole story that a lot of people claim. So we'll get into that.
So I got to
expose them. Now they're coming for me.
Listen to that definitely for sure.
Yeah, aliens are behind everything and other probably true nonsense. I think I'm shooting for the first week in February. So it'll be up.
I gotta wonder though, like the guests that you're pulling, are you pulling like government people? How, like
no guests right now. It's literally me telling the story and using that story as a jumping off point to do comedy. It's definitely a comedy podcast, but we'll see. I'm going to do it in seasons, and right now that's how the show is structured. But I know that whenever you do something like this, I have in my head what I think the show is, but the audience is going to dictate it. They're going to tell me what they like, and maybe I need to have guests. So we'll see. I might end up with guests.
Come on.
Yeah.
If you did do flat Earth, we know somebody that would like to be on the show.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to get into actual conspiracy theories other than government cover-ups that we're pretty sure are government cover-ups. For instance, one of my 3 episodes is on the Montauk Project, which is there's some crazy stories about that, but that is what Stranger Things was modeled after. Stranger Things used to be called the Duffer Brothers originally called it Montauk, and then they decided to change it because they didn't want to. There was some legal thing, but there was apparently a project called the Montauk Project. There's tons of crazy stuff that supposedly happened, but the one thing that we know for sure, the government is definitely covering up something that happened there, and they're still covering up you can't get into that thing if you jump the fence and get onto the shut down property. you'll be descended on by tons of like agents and whatever. Not just a cop showing up going, "Hey, get out of here, kid."
I've seen stuff on that too, because that's where they actually did have experiments on people that were doing stuff, levitating people and doing crazy shit.
I mean, the story goes that there was all kinds of crazy testing going, like mind control, stuff like that. Whether you believe those stories or not, but the fact is that there was testing.
That's where, like, to me, I think the third eye comes in effect, and how they say the government calcifies our third eye, so we can't do these things, you know. And
that's interesting. I mean, there was, also like a lot of that LSD testing that was happening in the 70s and 80s. They were doing a lot of those tests apparently on the project, on the thing. There was a guy that snuck in to the property within the last 10 years, got pictures of the inside. There's a house that's right next to the big radio tower. There was a house that had intricately painted designs on all the walls. Every room had a different, like, crazy designs on the walls, which is in line with the, like, LSD testing, the acid testing that they were doing. Once he got caught and thrown off the property, the government came in and tore that house down. Like, these are just the property is just sitting there rotting. Like, there's no reason to tear anything down. They have a fence around it. They say it's so that people won't go in there and get hurt. But as soon as somebody took pictures of the inside of that house, they spent the money to just tear it down, not the other buildings, just that. So there's crazy stuff. Yeah. But
it's like, what was he doing stuff on the walls into realms or whatever, you know, like what was it, you know, going on? Because that's where you have like Costa Rica and stuff back in the day where they did the DMT and thought they were going into different realms and we're talking to the other spirits and stuff. Because I was like, you're talking hundreds of years ago when this is a big thing. Yeah, and that comes into play with the third eye again, which is a big thing that was back then.
Yeah. We've gone so far off of snakes, you guys, and I really apologize. We are so far off the
it's called balls and things, so it's all good.
Okay. let me know if you want me to. I could pull out other snakes. Let me know if you want to see any other snakes. We could do that.
We're about to actually call it a night, but if you want to pull something out to end the show with, it's fine.
Come on.
Let me see. Since we were talking about Douglas, my scrub python.
Patrick said he'd love to be in the Flat Earth show. Come on.
Yeah.
There's so much conspiracies on that thing too. You could talk to so many people on that.
Yeah, I can't wait.
That is
so cool.
Yeah.
Python. I mean, talk about big eyes. This guy, scrub python, has big eyes. And here's the other cool thing. We're talking about a brown snake again, but you know, when he's in the sun, he's more iridescent than anything you've ever seen. Except maybe a rainbow boa, that might be. But look at the yellow on his belly. His belly. Cool. Isn't that cool?
And it's like the reddish brown color. That's what I like about them. They're not actually that brown. It's like some red tint to it, you know?
Yeah, he's not boring by any means. But the lights that I have on him doesn't show his iridescence. But their real name is amethystine python because they look like an amethyst.
That's my birthstone, February.
Oh, yeah?
Let's go. Yep.
Yeah, he's real cool.
Yeah, that is sick. Yeah, scrubs are cool. They're definitely cool. I like them. And they get, like you said, the linkness on them is what's really cool. And they're not a really girthy snake to, like, when you got that long link, it's handleable, you know?
Yeah, super thin. I held his dad. His dad is about 9 feet. Douglas is estimated to be 10 to 13 feet max. So his dad is about 7 or 8 years old. He's 9 feet. And I held him with one hand. Like, he could reach really far because he's so long, but he's not heavy, you know? So Douglas he'll be a handful for sure, but not thick. Like, people think of like a ball python being 13 feet. That'd be a massive snake, right? Because they're heavy bodied. Mm-hmm. But,
that's a burn ball.
But you got to put that time in. They get really long teeth, and they can be nippy.
What's that? Scrubs?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, especially a wild scrub, you know, a wild caught or most F1s. You know, this snake was maternally incubated and then cohabbed in a big, for its first 6 months of his life, or maybe 8 months of his life, cohabbed in a giant bioactive cage with like 6 of its siblings. And I went and visited this snake in Seattle before I got him. I shot a video about it, and I opened the cage and he crawled right out onto my hand. And I was like, "Oh, Paul, I want this one." And he goes, "Actually, I think I'm going to hold that one back if it's a female. I haven't sexed him yet." So once he learned that Douglas was a male, he sent him to me.
Nice.
Come on.
So he's a cool snake.
Mm-hmm. I like scrubs. They're cool.
Yeah.
That and their head shape is different. It's not like, you know, like the normal python. Like you look at our carpets and stuff, like it's different. You know, like it's longer, should I say, and a little narrower.
It's a chunkier head. I mean, it's more like a carpet head, but once he's of size, it's a big head.
Big head, right?
Especially for how thin the neck is. Yep. You know.
Makes them look different for sure. I like them. When I was over there messing with cows, that thing was beast, and it was really a fun experience holding it. That and the Bolins I hold over there, that was a sweetheart, and that thing was beast. And
I just want someone to buy me a Bolin's python as a gift.
What a rock.
A very rich person to want to buy me a gift. You know, that's all I'm looking for.
Anybody catch the replay, please hashtag replay gang, and don't forget that like and subscribe button if you haven't already.
Come on.
Yeah, it's been a great show. We had Bob Bledsoe in the building from the Green Room Pythons, showing off some animals, talking to us about this new podcast coming out next month. So y'all stay tuned. It's going to be a comedy podcast, not what you expect, not animal related, but it can be some true conspiracies,
just mysteries, just mysteries. Yeah.
Come on, I'm ready. I'm going to be tuning in for sure. You'll see me. You'll see pythons in there tuning in.
Cool.
Uh-huh. And it's going to be available on Spotify and what would it be? iHeartRadio or something like that.
It'll be everywhere you can get podcasts. It'll be on.
Okay, so iHeart, Spotify, and Apple.
And Amazon, Apple, all those. Yeah.
Yep, come on.
Yep.
I'm a Spotify guy, so I like my Spotify. Let's go.
Yeah.
I pay for the subscription, so I might as well use it, you know?
And also YouTube. There will be the video version will be on YouTube.
And the video version will be on YouTube.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Absolutely.
So not only can you listen in your truck or whatever, you could come home and
you can look at the beard. You can see the beard.
Yeah.
And maybe, just maybe, he'll juggle some axes on fire.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? You could bring the Renaissance to the channel.
I could put a kilt on. You would never know if I was wearing a kilt.
Hey, kilts are sweet. I would never lie about it. I will rock a kilt now. You give me a kilt, you will see Justin rock a kilt. I
have as many kilts as I have pants.
Come on.
Oh, come on.
Let's go.
I have a lot of kilts.
I think
chance for that.
White lip. Right.
White lips are cool.
Kyle just produced, and he's got a female gravid right now and another one right behind it that's gonna be laying some babies. Kyle's been killing it with the white lip game.
Yeah. Are they northerns or southerns?
I believe they're northerns.
Yep. Those are considered the more tame ones, right? I think it's the northerns that are.
Yep, I believe so.
Yeah.
He's been doing it though. It's not many people are producing them, and he's definitely tackled it and got it done, and doing it again and doing it again.
They're cool snakes for sure.
They definitely are.
Yeah.
You got some of them over there kind of spicy now, but I mean, what isn't? You know, really, once you get out the bin, it's fine. You know, It's like, this is my hole. Don't reach in here. And then when you get out, it's like, all right, what you gonna do?
Yeah.
No, the olive colors, and I think people too are starting to get for the more golder ones, or they're going for more like the darker ones. You know, so
That's the difference between northerns and southerns. I think I might be saying this wrong, but I believe the northerns are the golden ones, and I think those are considered more docile.
I'll say that.
Somebody correct me if I'm wrong.
Golden. He has some golden ones.
I'll tell you though, my buddy Willie, who has a channel called Willie's Reptiles, that's great. He's got a scrub pie. I mean, a white lip. And the other day, so he got this months ago, and recently I was at his place, and he goes, "Oh, Bob, you got to check out my white lip. I've been socializing it. It's puppy dog tame now." And he opens the tub and it tags him. Great. He goes, "Man, this hasn't happened in months."
of course, what I gotta show you.
Yeah. Funny.
Of course that happens.
Yep.
Anything you want to say, Bob, before we take off?
I think we said it all. This was a fun conversation. I'm glad you guys had me on.
Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
We appreciate it. Our partner, Justin.
I'd like to tell everybody, it's cool to see everybody in chats come out. Thank you guys for coming out. Bob, it was nice meeting you. And I got a little saying I normally do, which I'm not doing the speed humps this year. Last year I told everybody, go over your speed humps. This year, it's be kind to one another is what it's going to be.
That's it.
Be kind to one another is what it's going to be. So,
yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I'm definitely gonna see y'all on Friday. If I get off work in time tomorrow, we'll be having TBD. So hopefully I get off in time. If not, I'll see you on Friday. We can let our hair down. Get those smiles out, man. Get those flowers out. Tomorrow is not promised. 5 minutes from now, it's not promised. So call your loved ones. Don't wait for good news. Don't wait for bad news. Call them through it because it's the right thing to do. Matter of fact, it's still not too late, especially on the West Coast, like Bob is. It's still early enough for you to call your mother. But y'all got to get the fuck off my phone because we are out. We're going to see you next week. Good night.